Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger. Hey, yeah, I'm on camera. Trying something a little bit different this time around. Trying the camera thing since people seem to like it in the last tier list video. It's pretty rare. I don't know if it'll stay around, but we'll try it. We'll try it. And today we are talking Virtua Fighter because you're not going to get me to shut up about Virtua Fighter. And I guess what you could call what we're doing today a theoretical roster talk. So we have 3 characters now announced for the new Virtua Fighter. We have Akira Yuki, we have Wolf Hawkfield, and we have Stella. And Stella is not, I repeat, not Sarah. And everyone else is a bit of a question mark, to be honest with you. Whenever there's a new fighting game, obviously there's going to be a new roster, there's going to be returning characters, and of course there's going to be new characters. We will have a lot of returning characters, and I'm sure we're going to have more than a few new characters at all, because you know, fighting game's got a fighting game. You got to make new blood. You got to have new people show up to help sell copies of the game, right? We had the one trailer, and that might be a new character already. We'll find out at some point in the future. And, well, there's going to be more characters because, you know, there's a lot more styles out there and a lot of things that Virtua Fighter have never tried before. So new characters that'll have whatever looks, and one of them will assuredly be a sexy lady to help sell the game because that's how that works. But yeah, in this video, I'm just looking to make a bit of a theoretical roster. I want to talk about the characters that I think will return and characters I don't think will necessarily return. I don't think everyone will come back in this game. In Virtua Fighter, it's generally been a rule, that if a character shows up, they're in every successive game. And that's how it's mostly played out for everyone except for Taka Arashi, the sumo wrestler. So he made his debut in Virtua Fighter 3. And he completely no-showed Virtua Fighter 4. He wasn't there at all. So he showed up in one game, gone the next, and then appeared in later renditions of Virtua Fighter 5. He was not there at the start. So Taka's already problematic, and if you're looking for, well, every character has to be in the game, he's already good proof that they don't do that every time. Another substantial part of the game is there is a large time skip. So all the previous games happen, Virtua Fighter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all happen for as little story as there is. Hey, once again, go check out the Satan Shark video. Everything that's ever mattered about Virtua Fighter stories in that video. But so there is a time skip. We don't know exactly how long. I'm sure they're probably not going to explain it. Like, you know, we don't need an exact year or nothing. But at minimum, at least 10 years have gone by. Because Akira has gray hair now. And he was always portrayed as a younger man at that, right? So he's gray hair now. Wolf looks a lot older. And then, of course, we have the mystery of Stella. So Stella looks a lot like Sarah, but isn't Sarah. And, well, we'll get to it when we get to it. But, like, is some of these characters that are new characters going to be next generation characters where they effectively inhabit the old character's moveset, but they are not that character? Another thing that we have to take into realistic contention for building a potential roster is DLC. There will be a character or two that won't make it in at launch because they will be DLC characters. I don't anticipate every single DLC character ever to be all new or all guests, right? There's going to be 1 or 2 characters that are old timers to come back because that's how fighting games work. You don't gotta like it, but that's the reality, right? I can't really think of a fighting game that doesn't do it that way to some degree in the more modern era, right? Like Street Fighter 5 and 6 both made you pay for Akuma because they knew you were going to pay for him because that's realism, right? Like, you're gonna pay for Akuma if the option's there. Obviously, Tekken has a bunch of returning characters. Like, that's how it is. So I don't anticipate the entire roster in at the go, especially because even at minimum, 1 or 2 will get pulled back to be DLC later down the road. And of course, there's roster size. Roster size is always a concern because people don't like it when you launch with too little characters. But Virtua Fighter 5, even with Final Showdown, Ultimate Showdown, Revo, whatever you want to call the latest version, right? It only has 19 characters, and that's everyone ever in the history of the franchise. And once again, I don't expect everyone to return. I expect some people to get replaced by newcomers, either all new characters or like people inheriting old styles. I don't expect necessarily 19 out of the gate. I'm thinking probably more like 14 to 17-ish. Because, you know, modern character creation, super high-res models. Like, if you saw that Wolf trailer, Wolf looks amazing. Like, he looks better than anything in Tekken 8 already, right? So that's expensive. Like, those models, the mocap, all the kind of stuff, that's not cheap. So you can't have a million characters out of the gate. Obviously, you can't have too few, or people will get not too happy about that. Like, imagine if you launch with like 10 characters. People would be like, you're crazy. Who would launch with 10 characters, right? I don't know. That would boggle the mind, wouldn't it? So yeah, I don't know the exact roster. I don't expect it to be necessarily 19 out of the gate, because that's exactly what VF5 is. Hopefully not too short of that mark. Otherwise, though, people will get surly about the roster size. So here we are looking at the actual roster, right? This is VF5 Revo, and this is everyone to have ever existed. Well, except for Siba, but we sort of don't count him. Anyways, that's ever existed in VF, right? And a lot of these guys and gals will return, I believe. But of course, once again, the time skip, new characters, all that. So let's go into it. So Akira, hey, Akira's in the game. He's good to go. Wolf's in the game. He's good to go. Someone like Sarah, we don't know. We're going to talk about it. So let's go over characters I feel that are safe bets. I feel that are mostly auto includes. So one of the big ones out of the gate, El Blaze. Why? Because he's a wrestler. They've already made it very clear in Wolf's little story trailer with the pack that he has a faction. There was some drama with the faction, and you can't have a wrestling faction without wrestlers. So El Blaze, to me, is a gimme. And of course, wrestling brings a lot to a fighting game, right? There's more than a few wrestlers in fighting games. El Blaze is going to be one of the better examples, because he can do a lot of really cool lucha things. So I don't know. He's a very complete character. Revo especially helped solidify a lot of his gimmicks with run stuff. I think he's just an easy fit for the character, an easy fit for the game itself. Another easy fit, Kagemaru. Kage, fighting game, every fighting game needs a ninja. And Kage is a classic character. He's been here from the start. And I think that's kind of just enough in and of itself. He's the ninja dude. He'll do ninja things. Done. Now, that said, though, I don't think every character that's been here from the start is going to make it in. We're already iffy on Sarah, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment. But, someone like, this is a big one, Lao. Have a look at him. See that in his eyes? He's not doing so good. Shun's a lot older than Lao is. But Lao's whole storyline for a long time has been, he's got one foot in the grave. He's very, very sick. And he's looking to pass on his martial art to his daughter, Pai. And Lei Fei also wants to steal his martial art, because he's the multi-stance, multi-martial art character, right? So, one character out of the gate you have to assume won't return. That's a core main roster character that's been here in every single game, is Lao Chan. Because if you actually care about the story, if we're actually moving the story forward, and story is something you care about, you have to respect the fact that for the longest time, this character's been I'm on my way out. I'm going to be done. And if the plot advances 10 to 15 years or so, you have to assume he's done. Simple as that. And then you split his move set up a little bit. Give Pai some of his moves. They share a lot of their moves, different but similar. You give her a portion of the moves, and then you give Lao's stance to Lei Fei. So Lei Fei completed that part of his journey. Also, Lei Fei, another character I feel very likely to return. Lei Fei is the multi-stance character. He's very tricky. He has many kinds of stance that do a lot of different things. And, well, basically, what's one more, right? So if you take his stuff and you add Lao's stance onto it, he succeeded in his journey of, becoming Lao's successor in a way. That makes sense for the character, and it adds more to the stance character, because, his move list ain't no joke. We got a lot of different stances, as you can see. That does make him one of the more complex characters, but, complex is not bad by any stretch. You want someone who's very tricky, right? Stances are more common in 3D fighters, and this is the stance character. So I feel he'll return, whereas Lao Chan, as you can tell, once again, look at that character model. He's not looking great. He's younger than Shun-Di, and yet, I don't know. I don't know if he's coming back. And on the Shun-Di note here. So Shun-Di is our resident drunken boxer. And in no uncertain terms, he's the best drunken boxer in all of fighting game history. Sorry, Jamie, you do not match up to Shun-Di. In fact, we made other videos, but Shun-Di should be what Jamie's trying to copy, basically. And Shun-Di's old. Like, he's not necessarily openly sick like Lao is. Like, Lao coughs as part of his animations, right? So he's not necessarily that bad out of the gate, but he's old. So when we're talking about characters that can potentially be new characters that are effectively replacements for other characters, Shun, unfortunately, I think is kind of a prime example of exactly that. Because he's very old. There's a time skip already. You don't necessarily got to say he died. Because, you know, the drinking keeps him young. That's the way I look at it. Drinking keeps him young. But if you know your fighting games, especially in the modern day, we got this fun little trick where you take an existing character and you give them basically a new character with mostly that moveset, inspired by that moveset, and you make them a younger, sexy lady, right? And Shun-Di, I feel, is kind of prime candidate to get replaced by a young, sexy version of a character. So here we are all of a sudden, and, you know, we got the classic Shun-Di moveset, we got all the drunken boxing, but now it's like, you know, a cute 20-year-old, like, J-pop or whatever idol. That stuff will sell copies. It'll sell more than just old man Shun with his bushy eyebrows, right? Like, so I would personally like Shun-Di to return. Like, we need more 100-year-old reps in fighting games, I guess. But that moveset, the drunken boxing moveset, once again, he does it better than anybody else. But on a new sexy young lady character, I could definitely see it going that route. And now, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off on this talk here, right? This is a talk that maybe even deserves a greater video, but we just mentioned that Shun might get replaced by, you know, the younger sexy lady version of himself, right? So, once again, Stella is a thing that exists. Why does Stella exist? If you want to be very doomer about it, it's because there's a time skip. So, Sarah is a young, attractive 20-something lady. If we skip the time forward 10 to 15 years, she's no longer a young, attractive 20-something lady. Stella is a young, attractive 20-something lady who looks a lot like Sarah and fights like Sarah and sort of wears Sarah's outfit as well, right? So therein lies the problem with a lot of fighting games. In that, fighting game ladies are never allowed to get old. Can men get old? Look at Wolf. Look at Akira. Look at those trailers. They got old. You know, Akira's rocking gray hair now. Men are allowed to get old as much as you please in fighting games. And especially now RGG Studios. RGG Studios is the champion of the middle-aged man in gaming. Nobody does middle-aged men better in video games than RGG Studios. So, like, most of the male roster that's going to return, they're going to have a few more wrinkles, they'll look a bit more grizzled, they'll look a bit more distinguished, right? They're going to all look great. But is that going to happen for any of the ladies? We got so many, like, lady reps, like, it has to, right? They can't just replace everybody with a new young version of themselves, right? Like, they can't do that, right? Like, Eileen, I guess, would be the youngest. So, like, maybe she could be, like, in her late 20s with a time skip. So they can get away with it there. But, like, it's a problem in fighting games. Because, like, look at Anna and Nina in Tekken. How long has the Tekken timeline been from Tekken 1 to Tekken 8? It's been a long time. Like, Jin went from not born to grown-ass man, right? And yet Nina and Anna are still the same age. Because they spend in between games in cryo sleep or whatever that excuse is. Soul Calibur 5 had like a 20-year time skip. Ivy looked exactly the same because of the curse of the Soul Edge or whatever BS. She had like Soul Edge shards in her or whatever, so she doesn't age. So she got to look exactly the same despite a whole new generation of characters existing, right? Like, the only fighting game I can think of offhand that took an already existing lady character and allowed them to age up at all is Sonya in Mortal Kombat X. Sonya is supposed to be in her 40s, and she looked like she's about in her 40s. And good on NRS for doing that. Once again, I feel like there's no way to, like, not put in the whole lady roster, so they gotta. But it just makes me worried, right? Like, Stella is the bridge between worlds or whatever her tagline is. And does she just replace Sarah is the problem. Because don't get me wrong, what I want out of this game, I want 40-year-old Sarah kicking ass. I want that exactly. I don't know if we're going to get it, though. It's because Stella is a big warning sign to me. Like, the only lady I feel like you'd have to have Pai-Chan. You'd have to have You can't not have Pai-Chan, right? But once again, we might not have Sarah. But if we don't have Lao Chan, if he passes away, like, the only person to pass that legacy onto is Pai. And Pi at latest would have to be in her like 30s, right? So I don't know. So we'll see, I guess. That's always a concern. Like, it's an unfortunate concern in fighting games that there just is no older lady characters. Like, you'd have to go back to more obscure games from the 90s to make that a thing. That said, though, I do expect Pai-chan to return some way, some form. I don't hope it's one of those ideas where, like, the time skip happens and Akira and Wolf look visibly so much older, and then Pai still looks roughly the same, or Aoi or Vanessa look roughly the same. When it comes to Vanessa too, Vanessa, subject of great controversy over the years, let's put it that way. You're seeing the more modernized version of her here in Revo, where she got some of her skin color back, versus the more Michael Jackson era of her that existed in like original versions of Virtua Fighter 5. Call it for what it is, right? And she was also a character in her debut in Virtua Fighter 4 that was like exceptionally muscular, like noticeably so, more so than most of the rest of the cast. And then come VF5, they made her pretty, they made her sexy, but not so much on the muscles and the physique anymore, right? Like, you have to have Vanessa in the game, if only for the fact, because once again, we got to be realistic about these things. A lot of people who know Virtua Fighter that aren't like core VF players or played a lot of VF and Yakuza, and yes, we absolutely need a Yakuza guest character or two to help sell the game. But a lot of people, they know it because Vanessa is the closest thing they got to a sex appeal character, right? So we have Vanessa in the game because you need Vanessa in the game. There's so many people, it's like when Revo was coming out, so many people tell me like, oh, Vanessa's my main. I'm like, whatever it takes to get you to play the game. Sure. Vanessa's your main. Whatever. I believe you. Yeah, absolutely. But, so she needs to come back, right? It's just a form of like, will she retain some of her older look? Especially her original look. One of the fun things about, well, I don't know if it's fun, but a story anyways, is her very original look in the vanilla version of VF4 did not persist into the North American builds of Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, because her look was deemed like too erotic, too lewd for the game, which of course is sort of ridiculous in a lot of ways, because like you look at modern fighting game designs for ladies and that's nothing. That is nothing. Like even this, right? This is about as sexy as VF gets, and like compared to other fighting games, like even compared to like Street Fighter, and you could say Street Fighter in a lot of ways has surpassed Dead or Alive in terms of designs for the ladies, right? But yeah, so I don't know what form she's going to take. She's a multi-stance character, right? Offensive, defensive stance. And each stance is its own separate character. It's not like you just switch from mini stances that have 4 or 5 moves. Each stance is its own unique character. She has 2 playable characters in one, effectively. Good analogy, I guess, would be like Gen in Street Fighter. You enter your stance, and you're just completely different moveset, and you will switch between stances. Like, defensive stance has, like, very interesting tricks that can, like, deal with multiple kinds of moves. Offensive stance is more, like, raw power, raw beatdown pressure, right? So, she's a selling point for the franchise. You should keep her for that reason alone. And as for what she'll look like, that is the biggest who knows right now. So of the ladies, I do expect Pi to return some way, somehow. Sarah, I truly don't know. I want her to return. But, you know, Sarah has, like, PPP back K, right? She has, like, her somersault, all that kind of stuff. Like, what little we saw out of her is directly out of Sarah's playbook. So who knows? Like, it makes you think if they're going to replace Sarah potentially with a younger character, they might replace Jackie with a younger character, right? But then again, Jackie would be a middle-aged man now. So RGG Studio, I don't think they'd have much of a problem with it. Aoi, honestly, is one of those characters I feel like you save for DLC. Like, she is popular enough. She has an interesting moveset, but she doesn't necessarily need to be there at the launch, especially if it's a more story-heavy game. She has, like, very few characters have any story relevance, but she has, like, 0 story relevance. I feel you could save her as DLC, and honestly, and if you're watching Tricky, I am so sorry I'm going to say this, but Eileen, I don't think she makes it. Like, maybe down the road, year 2 or 3 DLC, I don't know. But she is not a popular character to begin with. Straight up. She is not a popular character. She's not going to move sales of the games. You know, they had the popularity poll not too long ago. She's near the bottom of that popularity poll. Like, you just don't need to launch the game with Eileen. You need to launch the game with Akira. You don't need to launch the game with Eileen. So, I don't know, right? There might be another more, peppy young style character to take her place with a different fighting style. But Eileen, the experiment, has mostly not been a successful one. Speaking of the experiment, we got to do the big question mark in Taka. So Taka is popular, well, was more popular in high level play, and Revo, I don't know, I guess, well, we don't know for sure, right? Like, we're still figuring stuff out. Definitely had some very interesting changes, especially when it comes to like weight system. And weight system is one of the big question marks in the upcoming Virtua Fighter, if they'll even keep it. Because nothing with Taka works the same compared to everybody else. Like, Lao, this move right here is a launcher. It doesn't launch him. It just knocks him over. Like, he still will have, some opportunity to hit him, but like, he won't have the same combos. And one of the things, RGG, like, this is what they won't mess around with. They'll have great animations, right? One thing with Taka is, like, characters visibly struggle with him. Like, normally Taka, like, or rather, Lao would, like, kind of give you fireman's carry, right? And here he, like, just struggles with Taka and, like, falls over. And most of the cast has animations like this, where if it's anything involving lifting and moving a character, like, yeah, they struggle huge with it. Like, they just can't, like, that's supposed to be a jumping choke slam on a regular character. Against Taka, like, nah, we ain't lifting him off the ground here, right? So he needs like different rules entirely. Like, launchers don't work the same. A lot of moves that just even knock down on regular hit. Some moves won't knock him down on regular hit unless it passes a damage threshold. You have to change all the animations to work to deal with the weight. He's a big maybe. Once again, he's the only character to have conclusively skipped the game before, right? And I'm the sumo guy in the FGC. I want more sumo reps. Don't get me wrong. I would love Taka to return, but he is another character, frankly, I can see. And when it comes to popular, he's also, outside of more competitive play, he's not a terribly popular character either, right? So when it comes to characters that might not make the cut, Taka is another character that just might not make the cut, might not make it into the base roster of the game. Now, as we're just kind of going through the roster here, people that have to make it into the game, Jeffrey. Jeffrey is already middle-aged, right? He is one of the older characters of the game as it is. And so he'll be even older come the new game. But I will burn RGG Studio to the ground if they do not finish the Satan Shark storyline. Like, to be real, it's the only part of the lore that matters. Like, I have spent so many years of my life, like, if I'm trying to sell people on VF besides just the gameplay, like, okay, what's something silly, funny, and quirky? Satan Shark, Satan Shark, Satan Shark. Because what else is there? What, like, Dural is Kage's mother? Who cares? I had a bad dream. Let's fight. It turns out it didn't matter anyways. Who cares? Like, I want to steal his moves. Sure, okay, that's something, right? But it's not funny, silly, wacky. Like, fighting games have funny, silly, wacky storylines. Like, oh no, they're going to sabotage my car. Who cares? The Satan Shark and him entering martial arts tournaments to get money to build better boats to hunt down a freaking shark worldwide. That is called the Satan Shark writes itself. If there's any plot line that has to be continued, it is Jeffrey's plot line. And add to the fact, Jeffrey's a fun character. He has a very beginner-friendly moveset. He's the big dude that smashes people. Like, that writes itself. Like, everyone has, like, more very explicit, like, some kind of, like, training-style martial art. Even if the martial art is, of dubious real-world value sometimes, right? But he's just, like, it says Pancratium. Like, this is not like Marissa where, like, it's, like, practiced Roman style. You're somehow confused. This is Jeffrey's fighting style. He gets up in your face and just smashes you around. Like, he is an MFer. He'll just toss you around like a ragdoll because he's a lot bigger and a lot stronger than you, and also is the master of the go-to sleep, unlike that bum CM Punk. Every fighting game needs at least just one big dude that just bulldozes people, right? Like, Jeffrey is explicitly that character. He has the best storyline in the franchise as it kind of currently stands. So, like, you need him to be in the game. Like, it's as simple as that as far as I'm concerned. Other people that'll be in the game, like Leon will be in the game. I don't want him to be in the game, to be frank. I hate this character so much. So, like, let's monkey paw this stuff, right? I want a new Virtua Fighter. And then, like, but what do? You get a new Virtua Fighter? You get a new Virtua Fighter with Leon in the game. That's what happens. So that's my monkey paw. Like, I'll get my new game, but this MFer is going to be in it, and, like, I'll just have to friggin' deal, right? I'll just have to friggin' deal. You know what, though? On that note, speaking of MFers, positive. Go. Go is another character. People love their edgelords, okay? People love edgelord characters, and Go is Mr. Edgelord. He is like, you know, the bancho gangster judo dude. And judo is a martial art that's not well represented in fighting games. Like Paul in Tekken's judo, like not the same kind of judo, right? He's much more proper judo. He's still a bit of a jerk. He has like some brawler instincts in him, like Jeffrey does, although with proper judo form, because sometimes you just smash your head around. He has a very disrespectful moveset, like as you can see here, right? And one of the fun things, by the way, if you don't know Virtua Fighter too well, is like what kind of wall the opponent's on matters. Because like sometimes people have like throws that are like specifically this is a wall only throw, but then sometimes the kind of wall it is matters as well. Like this is half only wall throw. So if it's a larger wall, this throw won't work at all. So, but yeah, so people love the edgelord character. Go's the edgelord character. He's a proper judoka. Like he's got a good look. And like, I feel like he's a very safe bet to make it in the game. And speaking of edgelords, our other edgelord is Jean Cujo. So Jean is Karate Sephiroth, basically, right? And sight unseen, people will be gravitated towards this character. Like, he doesn't look like any of the rest of the roster, right? He's so much more anime than everybody else, and that's part of the reason, frankly, he's popular. That's why a lot of these designs are getting updated in the new game, is because they're from an older time that doesn't necessarily play as well in the more modern day. And he's a proper karate man, right? Anything you would think with like traditional style karate, that's very much his purview. Like that's all the things he's gonna do. And that's also gonna be some sort of like baseline level popular. And with that in mind, I could either see him as base roster, and he's one of the few characters where plot will matter. He's an assassin of Judgment 6. Judgment 6 is the evil Illuminati in the game. So like he does have some small story relevance, right? But I can also see him being one of those characters that gets yoinked for being DLC. Because Akuma proved if you have a popular edgelord character, people will pay money for the edgelord popular character. So it's a bit of a mystery. I could see it going either way, but I feel very confident just due to his base level popularity. He's also a very easy character for beginners because he has a very easy mechanic where you can take most given strings and you can hold a button for a delayed version of the attack at the end. And from there, like these delay attacks have better frame data, they have more properties. They can kind of become guessing games in them themselves. It's like, am I going to hold it? Well, I'll just sidestep it, right? Well, if you held it and you sidestepped, haha, I have a tracking move that'll track one way or the other, and then haha, you got dummy, right? So, like, he's got a very interesting play style. Maybe a little simplistic, but, you know, Virtua Fighter can be a more complicated game for some people. So you don't want to, or rather, it'd be to your benefit to have some characters that are easier to get into, and Karate Sephiroth is definitely an easier character that is attractive to a modern audience. Come to Brad. Brad's an odd one because that one trailer we showed not too long ago, that character could potentially just be Brad. If it's Brad, he's got a whole new look. He's sort of abandoned his look that he's kind of always had. But, you know, time goes by, people have new looks, right? So this is the game to give people new looks. He's a Muay Thai, right? It says kickbox. I mean, he's more traditional Muay Thai, at least to my eyeballs. Lots of elbows and stuff, right? I could easily see him returning, but I could also see him not. I don't know. He's a hard one to qualify because he's also, frankly, not popular, right? And it is more money to bring back popular characters than not popular ones. But he has a very interesting style, a very effective style, and he's one like rebrand away. You know, new game, new time, new look, from potentially being more popular. So he's a harder one to call. And that's sort of where we're at with the roster. So now just to kind of quickly run down one more time. So Akira, he's in the game. We already know it. Pai has to be in the game. If she's not in the game, they are insane. Because Lao has to pass on his stuff to Pai, right? Like, Pai has to be in the game. The question is, do they make her look older appreciably? She is younger. So they could get away with saying she's like 29 or something in the new game. But we'll see. We'll see. Lao, he's donezo. He's done. If they pay any respect at all to the story it's been so far, Lao has to go away. He has to make room for somebody else or pass down his moveset to other people. Wolf is in the game. Jeffrey has to be in the game. Kage has to be in the game. The Bryant twins is difficult because of the fact Stella exists. Stella could very well mean Sarah's gone because they don't want to make a middle-aged lady, right? And they could do it that Stella's in the game and Jackie's in the game, and then Sarah, tough luck lady, right? I hope they don't do it that way. I hope my theory, which we don't know, but my theory is Stella is like Dural, like the final version of Dural, more human-like, right? And maybe she has moves from all the cast, and they sort of like are trying to trick us into only showing the Sarah stuff, but we don't know. But Sarah might be gone because of Stella. Like Stella just ate Sarah's lunch. Jackie, I feel he could get replaced with a younger version, but I feel like he's a safe bet to get in. Because like one of the few noises anyone knows of Virtua Fighter is Jackie going, yeah! Like if you don't hear like every like 10 seconds, if you see Jackie in a match, like if you don't hear, yeah, like every couple of seconds, like that's not Virtua Fighter. You need that in the game. That's one of the identifiable sounds of the game, right? Shun, I feel, is getting replaced for a younger, sexier version of himself, because that's how fighting games work these days. Leon's going to be in the game, because my luck can only extend so far, so the character I hate the most is going to return. Aoi, I feel like if they're going to fuck people back for DLC, I feel like she's a good bet for that. Lei Fei, I feel, will be in the game. Like, you'll have something from Lao, but a more complex multi-stance character makes sense. Vanessa has to be in the game unless they're crazy, because once again, she's one of the few characters people know. If you're not in the FGC, she's one, like, they'll know Akira and they'll know Vanessa and they won't know anybody else if you're not in the FGC. She is, like, not necessarily planned necessarily, but she is one of the flagship characters if you want to get real about it. Brad, I don't know. I really don't. Go, I feel, is a very safe bet to return. Eileen, I think she's done. Blaze, if we're going to have a wrestling storyline, has to be in there because he's Wolf's other rival. Like, originally Wolf was supposed to be the rival to Akira, but then, like, what little plot they had, he fell down a ranking and, like, he's not worth Akira's time anymore. So then they gave him a new rival in Blaze. Taka, I love Taka. I love sumos in general, right? But just due to, like, the issues around Taka with technical stuff, and especially if they want to bring weight back, which I hope they don't, I think weight is an antiquated notion and should be gone. Straight up, remove that from the game. That's where I'm at. Like, would it mean that he gets thrown like everyone else? Yep. You can make a new animation. Does it mean he gets juggled like everyone else? I don't know, maybe, but like, I don't want to like launch someone and like, okay, is it Wolf or Jeffrey? And especially in Revo, there's combos that work on Jeffrey that won't work on Wolf. And if it works on Jeffrey, it might not work on Jean. If it works on Jean, it might not work on Jackie. If it works on Jackie, it might not work on Brad. And like, I just want weight gone. It's needless complication. But yeah, Taka, who knows? And Jean is definitely gonna return. It's just a matter of, is he base roster or is he gonna be DLC? Because it's gonna go for the easy DLC, like edgelord sell on you, right? That's kind of where I'm at. And that's where I'm at with the base roster. Of course, there's going to be all new, brand new characters, right? We can't really anticipate it. Minimum 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 if they're crazy, who knows? And like one of them will be replacing an existing character, I think is a very safe bet as well. I think that's going to be Shun-Di. But yeah, so new characters, and of course guests. Guests are a very realistic part of fighting games. And I think they are absolutely insane if they don't do some sort of Yakuza crossover, right? It's been 20, by the time this thing comes out, like VF5 will have been like 20 years old about, right? So it's been 20 some years since the last game. You'll have people like me who are going to try to shell the game as hard as possible to you. But I'm a small, like I can't move mountains, right? You need something big and identifiable to move the game to the modern gaming audience as a whole. And if you put in Kiryu and Ichiban or Majima or whatever, that is half the fight right there. There has to be a Yakuza guest character. Has to. Like, no uncertain terms. If the game launches without a Yakuza guest character, they effed up. Unequivocally. Because part of the reason people even know what VF is anymore, because it's the mini game in Yakuza, right? You have to respect that Yakuza has done a lot of the heavy lifting in keeping that brand alive at all. And it is canonical in universe that all these Yakuza characters are VF players. So there's that link as well. And you saved all this time by not giving Kiryu or whoever else as guest characters to other fighting games, because he's a Sega property. So you should save him for your Sega game, right? Like, that makes sense to me. And who knows, you can go further with it, right? Like, maybe you could have like Blaze or Axel from Streets of Rage. Like, that's further, that could be a DLC character, right? That's further down the road, but you have to have a Yakuza guest character at launch if you're looking to actually sell copies of the game. So that's me, that's the thoughts, that's the video. I would love to know what you guys think. Once again, this is pure theory, this is pure speculation. We have no idea. We're working on almost nothing. But, well, gotta make a video somehow, right? So we're working on almost nothing, and then I can check back, and you can check back at home to this video to see how right or how wrong I was, right? Like, when the game launches, it turns out there's no Yakuza guest characters, but Sonic and Shadow are on the front of the box fighting Akira, because that's the way they want to go with it. That could certainly be a route, right? That could certainly be a route. They can go and like basically make this like Fighters Megamix 2, right? They make this Sega All-Stars. And then you have like Golden Axe characters. You got the Jet Set Radio guy there. And he'll show everybody how to understand the concept of love. We'll see how it goes. But that is it for the video for now. And that is it for me. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Virtua Fighter.